So we're going to talk a little Thomas.
Yes.
So what was it initially that made you want to come on board?
I tried really hard to get on board. It was a tough competition. I was demoing against a lot of amazing other composers. So
What was your, so for you, how was it kind of evolving the music throughout the whole entire multiple episodes, not just coming out from one?
well, to be clear, the way that we did it was I created what we call a library of cues, and I have a music editor, and the music editor will reuse some cues from past episodes. So I had to make extra sure that every cue was just amazing, so there's a lot of extra pressure there on each piece. Like, you can't just be like, oh, it's only in this side transition, no one's gonna see it ever again and no one's paying attention. It's like that cue could show up 20 more times later on, so you have to be really, really sure that it's the best.
It's interesting with kids, I notice, when you have a kids audience, they're actually very sharp audience.
Oh, for
They
sure.
know if something's off, like the music's off, or there's something a
Yeah.
little off. They can tell even more than I think adults sometimes.
Yeah. And I also don't write, as if I'm writing for kids, because what's the fun in that? It's just it's the same story that's whether it's for kids or adults in the music. So it's
Now, you also did Ghostwriter?
Yes.
Yeah, so how did you approach that differently than, let's say, Thomas?
Well, that one was interesting because it was a lot more fantasy. There's a lot more fantasy elements. There was magical things happening, and the audience was a little bit older, so we could go a little bit more intense and scary, but not too scary. So that is one thing that with kids content, you don't want to be, making them run into the next room and run away from the TV. So, yeah.
And last question, I noticed online that you teach.
I do.
How
yes.
does that? How do you feel as a teacher? Does it actually help you as an artist? We kind of like
Yeah.
create it, but it's like, what is the learning process for you when you get to teach?
Well, because I go through, foundational ways in which we tend to compose and approach a scene, and I'm constantly looking for new examples of things to show them, and then in turn, it makes me a better composer. I can formulate, my sort of approaches in a new, entertaining way every year, and I get to see what they're into nowadays, and it turns out they're all into video games, so, I don't know. It's funny, the way that media is being consumed is a lot different than when we were young.